Hey guys, and welcome to a video I've been very excited to make for quite a while, and I think a video you guys have been wanting me to make. And ever since we arrived here in Spain earlier this week, I've been wanting to put the Polestar 3 long-range dual motor performance up against a Polestar 4 long-range dual motor performance in a direct range test and compare the cars driving them at the same time. So we're currently here in Spain, an hour and a half south of Madrid, and we're going to drive on a route which is about an hour southwest of here and then back again, which is very comparable to the route I do at home in Norway. So elevation changes should be about the same. Elevation is about 100 meters taller on average on this route compared to the route at home. So the results aren't going to be identical in comparison, but like within 1% or 2%, which is, good enough error margin for these types of tests, because they're never going to be, super accurate or super scientific either way. So I think my prediction, let me know what you think down below, but the Polestar 3 with a bigger battery pack at 107 kilowatt hours usable will get more range in the real world compared to the Polestar 4 with a 94 kilowatt hour usable battery capacity. Though I'm, suspecting that this is going to be a little bit less efficient than this, so higher consumption than this because of the shape, because of the size, because of how much taller it is compared to this. But both cars are on 22-inch wheels. Both are dual electric motor performance versions. So maybe, just maybe, this will get as low consumption as this and really crush it in the range test. But I don't think so. So guys, let's hop into cars, get on the road, and see which of these gets the more range and which is the most efficient. I'm starting this trip in the Polestar 3, and halfway we're gonna switch up cars, and I'm always in the car in front running in the cleanest air, and Louise is behind me on adaptive cruise control with that set to its shortest distance. So both cars have equal time in clean air, and things like driving style shouldn't really affect the results. We're also doing ABA testing, so starting one point at A, going to B, and then going back again, which should eliminate, changes in elevation and also changes in wind direction. And today, the conditions are pretty nice, 22, 23 degrees Celsius, sunny skies, and also pretty calm winds of about 1 meter to 2 per second in the southwest direction, which is where we are headed now. So I'm going to call up Louise in the Polestar 4 and check out what her consumption is. Hello, Louise.
Hello.
How's things going in the Polestar 4?
It's going great. How about in the Polestar 3?
Well, I really like the Polestar 3. I think I like it more than the 4. Which do you like the best?
Yeah. I prefer the Polestar 4.
Why?
I'm not a huge fan of SUVs.
Yeah, you don't like SUVs. You like sitting low, yeah? Or you like sitting high, but in a low car.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like to sit with your seat adjusted all the way to the roof, but in a low car. That's pretty funny. Yeah, we have very different body sizes. So like when I hop in after she's been driving, I'm like in this ceiling. So after about 41 kilometers now, 20 minutes on the road, what's your average consumption?
It's 24.8.
24.8. So mine is 26.3.
Okay.
So as expected, the Polestar 4 has lower consumption because it is a smaller car, it's a lower car. But that's not a big difference like in reality, because this has such a bigger battery pack. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue on now for about 35-40 minutes, and then we'll switch up cars and do another update once we get to our turn one point. So until then, have fun in the Polestar 4, Louise.
I wish the same for you.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay guys, we're now halfway and we're gonna switch up cars. So I'm gonna hop into the Polestar 4. But I have to say, this is such a lovely car on this route. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it has a beautiful interior. It's just a pleasure to drive. And we've been here in Spain for a few days. We went out in Madrid over the weekend, and a lot of the clubs play a lot of cool, Spanish language music. I mean, like, been listening to Bad Bunny, and I've been really testing out the Bowers & Wilkins sound system in this car with the latest Bad Bunny songs, and it's just, you know, elevates the experience. Just, if you love music, just getting this car with this sound system is worth every penny, because this has the Harman Kardon, which is good, but it's not as good as that. This, once you get it dialed in, it's an amazing experience. So doing this in the wrong order, so let's hop into this and see how this is compared to this on our way back. But a little bit of an update. Average consumption 24.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers an hour, and 22.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers after our halfway point. I'm now in the Polestar 4 long-range dual motor performance, and the next video is going to be a full comparison review between these two cars, exterior, interior, driving dynamics, etc. So if you don't want to miss out on that video, well, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. The next video out will be a full comparison video between the Polestar 4 long-range dual motor performance and the Polestar 3 long-range dual motor performance, going in depth when it comes to the exterior, the interior, and also driving dynamics. But I just want to touch briefly upon the differences between these two cars and, you know, how they compare. So we're on a bad patch of asphalt now, and yeah, naturally these 22-inch wheels, they're going to be a lot of road noise. But now we're hitting a smooth patch of asphalt, and on this type of surface, I think these two cars are very closely matched when it comes to road noise. But because that Polestar 3 is on air suspension, the range between the most comfortable and the firmest setting is, you know, a lot wider than with this. And it's just, you know, a little bit softer, a little bit more compliant and plush over this patch of asphalt in the most comfortable setting. But this is by no means uncomfortable. This is a very nice car to drive, and especially at the price point. So I really like this car. The seats are good, not as good as, you know, with the Polestar 3, but I actually do like, you know, that you sit lower. I don't know, I like the driving position in that also, but this is also very, very nice. I mean, it is very closely matched in a lot of ways, and, you know, that price delta, for that you're getting more interior space and that sound system, that Bowers & Wilkins sound system, and also that bigger battery pack. But, you know, if you don't need that much space, I think this isn't actually a bad choice. We're now back here at the Ionity chargers here in Casalegas, where we started this range test a few hours ago. So I'm going to reveal the consumption at the end of the video, and then we're going to do the calculations. But we started both cars with 72% stated charge, and we arrived with the Polestar 3 with, let's take a second, 24% state charge. So while that's ramping up, let's go over to the Polestar 4. So yeah, so this is now also at 24% stated charge, which is so interesting. 72% stated charge started with both cars, and we're both at 24% stated charge. But that means these two cars are going to have really close real world range, but we're going to do the calculations to get, you know, that proper range. So this just said 162 kilowatts, and now throttled down to 111. That is interesting. Why is it doing that? 24% stated charge. This car should be getting more speed than that. Earlier this week, we did a range test between a Polestar 3 long-range dual motor, a non-performance version, and a Volvo EX90 twin performance. And we had the same issue. Both cars throttled down to 115, 116 kilowatts, but when we did individual tests, we saw much higher speeds. So is there a limitation at this charging station? When you connect several cars, you're only going to get 115 kilowatts? I don't know, that's really weird. Let's hop over to the 4 and see if we have the same limitations there. Yeah, we do. We do. Okay, so I think this is pretty conclusive that it's not the cars, but it is the chargers, limiting to 114 kilowatts with each car. Why? This charging station should be able to output a lot more than 230 combined. That is so weird. Now let's take a look at the results. So how we do the calculations is that we take the usable battery capacity. Let's take the Polestar 4 first, 94 kilowatt hours usable. We divide it by the consumption, 23.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. and then we subtract 3% for heat and discharging losses. That gives this car a theoretical range under today's conditions between 22 and 24 degrees Celsius. Pretty calm, basically no winds today, and also dry conditions of 388 kilometers. We do the same with this. This has a usable battery capacity of 107 kilowatt hours. Its consumption was 25.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. We subtract 3% for heat and discharging losses. Gives this car a theoretical range under today's conditions of 407. And that is very interesting. And that is why we don't take the battery percentage usage and calculate range from there, because it is not linear. The BMSs of the cars, they act differently, and this is proof of that, because when we do these calculations and account for all of the losses and the battery pack sizes, which is the usable capacity, this car actually has 19 kilometers more range under these conditions. But just looking at 72% stated charge to 24% stated charge, and the same with this, well, that would have told a different story. So I think the results today are very, very interesting, driving both cars at the same time, and both being the performance version, the least efficient versions of both cars. And the results are conclusive. 19 kilometers may not sound like a lot, but it's actually, it is quite a bit of extra range. So for this, you're getting more range, though it is more expensive. I think you're getting your money's worth with this car. But I don't know, this is also really, really good. We'll have to do a full comparison between these two cars to see if this is worth the range bump, and also if it is worth the bump in comfort and in space and other features. It really depends. The next video is going to be a full comparison video. But guys, let me know what you think of the results between these two cars today. Do you think that extra range justifies the price, or would you, save your money and go for one of these? Let me know in the comment section down below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.